to bring in transgender activist and author Raquel Willis for more on this. Raquel, thank you so much for joining us. What was your reaction when you first saw this Trump campaign ad painting Harris as an extreme liberal that is a danger to conservatism?
I found it very disgusting. I mean, I think it's an expensive tactic to take cheap shots at the trans community. We've seen time and time again the GOP paint so many different communities on the margins as villains in America's story. We've seen it with conversations around migrants. We've seen it around conversations around our Haitian fam and so many folks who are making decisions about their own bodies, including having abortion. So it's not surprising, but I want it to be clear that we can't just let this rhetoric exist. And I think that that's what the Harris campaign has been doing for a long time. It's just letting this kind of anti-trans rhetoric exist and hoping it will dissipate. We have to be clear that it's disgusting that trans folks are being demonized. Incarcerated folks deserve holistic health care. Migrants deserve holistic health care. And trans folks deserve holistic health care like everyone else in this country.
And Raquel, Vice President Harris was asked about this in an interview with Bret Baier on Fox News, and she said she will follow the law, just as former President Trump did on this issue when he was in office. So I want to play some of that moment.
So are you still in support of using taxpayer dollars to help prison inmates or detained illegal aliens to transition to another gender?
I will follow the law, and it's a law that Donald Trump actually followed. You're probably familiar with, now it's a public report, that under Donald Trump's administration, these surgeries were available on a medical necessity basis to people in the federal prison system. And I think, frankly, that ad from the Trump campaign is a little bit of like throwing, stones when you're living in a glass house.
Baier responded that no surgeries happened in Trump's presidency. So, Raquel, what did you make of her answer?
I thought it was okay, but I think that we could have gone further. I don't think that it's okay to paint trans communities' issues, incarcerated folks' issues as remote. I don't think that that helps in kind of picturing this bigger we, as some of my friends over at ASOS Communications reminds us to. We have to be clear. Everyone deserves holistic health care. If people are being incarcerated, we have to make sure that they are not being tortured, that they have access to the things that they need. But again, I think that the Trump campaign has made it clear time and time again, they will do whatever they can, hit below the belt to try and misguide American voters. And we can't let that happen. We have to call out the misinformation and disinformation whenever we see it and correct it.
And while we have you, I have to ask, what do you say to parents who don't want their daughters, for instance, competing in sports against athletes assigned male at birth? That's been a big talker for many, many years, and especially recently. That's ramped up quite a bit. So what do you think?
I think that trans folks deserve to pursue our passions like anyone else, right? We know that people have all types of experiences, all types of bodies, and there are also so many barriers to participating in sports. So all of this focus on trans folks when there's such a small number of trans folks who have the opportunity to access sports is really disgusting. We should be talking about barriers like economic barriers to participating in sports. There's so many other things. And I think that it's really disgusting that trans youth are living in a time when, of course, there's more visibility than ever before, but there's also more targets on our backs than ever before. This is not a problem, and sports bodies across the country and globally have settled the discussion around trans folks participating in competitions.
Transgender activist and author Raquel Willis, thank you so much for your time. Really appreciate it.
Thank you.